So, potholes. Do you realise that there's an average of 6 potholes per mile in the UK? And that the average cost of the damage from a pothole is 600 quid. Who knew? Oh, me. Why? Because I went and bought myself a car that's got low profile tyres. And this car, because it has a big engine, right, I don't go anywhere in it, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. I don't worry about fuel because I don't go far. But I get charged 740 quid a year in road tax. Why? Because our government don't like people having luxurious cars with big engines. Now, bearing in mind, this car probably did cost a fuckload when it was new, but like all BMWs, they depreciate like fuck and you can pick them up quite cheap. However, the damage that I've done, I now need a tyre and I need probably a wheel. And that was done from a pothole on the way to work. Now, potholes happen usually when cracks appear and stuff like this, and then constant use going over it will end up breaking up the surface, or water gets in there, freezes and pushes the surface out. And no, I'm not going over potholes at the moment, but I might as well be. I'm actually in a quarry. But what I'm saying here is we are paying so much in road tax. Think about this, right? I'm one of these that likes vehicles. I'm a sad fucker, right? But I do. So I've got the van, right? Which I've had for years, which I have to say, owes me nothing. Went straight through the MOT with absolutely nothing wrong with it. I was immense. I was over the moon. But anyway, I digress. So I've got the van, which used to be a camper, but now to chuck the motorbikes in if we go to, I don't know, whatever. And I use it normally to commute. So I've got the van, which costs me, fucking how much is that? 200 and something a year in tax. I've got 2 motorbikes, all right, which is 117 pounds each. There you go. And the BMW, which is 740 quid. Now, some of you are going, why have you got so many vehicles? Well, it's like this. I don't do holidays. I don't smoke. I don't gamble. I don't go on trips very often. I don't treat myself to anything else. I live alone. My daughter's grown up, and I don't have a huge amount of expenses. So why not, right? And I'm planning to buy another bike. I'm going to get rid of the Bandit because I want to go touring. This will be part of what I want to do with YouTube and get a load of you out to come and join us, like the Scotland bit. But I've decided that the 600 Bandit, the vibration, I don't like it much, so I'm going to get myself a Yamaha FJR 1300, what they use to get blood around the place. But anyway, so the damage caused. We have more vehicles on the road now than we used to have, and the roads were set up in the old days for lighter vehicles, much lighter. The lorries were lighter there, the cars were significantly lighter, okay? You think about it, our average car back in the day would have been a Mini, an Anglia, a Ford Consul, all right? That's it. Now, those cars don't weigh anywhere near as much as the modern day vehicle, and they also used to have a lot higher profile. All of this, less weight, high profile tyres and stuff like that, would have had less of an impact. Now, you think about this. Most lorries have air suspension to soften the damage, and they also have more steering axles on the vehicle to try and reduce the amount of scrub that they do when cornering. This thing has leaf springs front and rear, and when fully loaded, it'll knock the living daylights out of a road. And at the moment, because of the growth spurt, and I don't know if you've noticed that just about everywhere where there's a bit of green belt, they're building on it. I've just learned that a local village to us is about to have 500 and some odd new houses put in it. The village that I live in has just had an extra 2,000 fucking houses put in it. All right, so it's not really much of a village anymore. And they're doing this everywhere. So you're going to see vehicles like this up and down your roads, beating the daylights out of them and creating potholes. Now, as a motorcyclist, they're lethal, all right? But as a person who owns a car with low profiles, they're expensive. And to the average Joe, if you're following a car, right, and you're just going about your business, you might not see that pothole to the last minute. Now, I'm led to believe that there may be some sort of recourse that you can get from the council if you can prove that that pothole was the one that did you a load of damage. So it seems that the government now are actually telling the local council that we're going to release a load more money to you if you can prove you're fixing it. Now, I happen to know a little bit about the way they go around fixing these potholes, because I've got a friend who wants to get into it and actually wants to get me over doing it with him because it's going to pay a lot of money. However, it's patching. Now, if you were to say, for instance, you see a big hole on like there, right, and then what you do is you actually cut out a square section, right, get out all put the stuff, the bonding stuff in, and then put the tar on top of it and tamp it all down, and then you put those strips around the outside of it so the water can't get in. You've got a fair chance of that fix lasting a long time. But what they're going around at the moment with is this bit like quick tarmac. I don't know much about it, but I've seen that it comes in bags and it's shove it in the hole, tam the stuff down, and away you go. It lasts about 2 minutes, especially if a vehicle like this is going over it, or an Arctic, something like that. So it's like putting a plaster over a dam that's leaking. It's not going to work, but it will temporarily tick a box, much like a lot of the things that the government deal with these days, and they can say that they're doing something about it, but they'll go and patch it up and it might last, I don't know, 6 months at max, maybe longer if you were lucky, but not really. So do you believe that you're getting your money's worth for tax? Do you think that the tax system on our cars is nothing more than highway robbery? Get it? What do you think? Because I do. Because I think to myself, take for instance that the vehicle that I've got that they're hitting me hard for. If that did 2,000 miles a year, I would be massively surprised, especially now, because it was being used by the daughter's mother temporarily, and it was getting used every day. But now it sits at home all week, and I use it on the weekends. So I mean, it's my choice. I don't have to have the car. I get that. Before any of you lefties come on here and go, "Oh, you know, shut up." Anyway, you're boring. You fucking are. You come up with absolute bullshit. It's like, oh well, if you learn not to live and have any fun, you'll be fine. Yeah, go fucking ball your head. I want the car. I'm prepared to pay, but I don't think that what I'm paying is particularly fair. I also don't think that that money is being used appropriately so that I can drive on nice roads. It's like this road I'm on at the moment. A massive crack all the way down from the middle of it and a load going off to the side. And this is why you see me bumping around all over the place. This is the main road, by the way. You can actually see them on the motorway. Potholes on the motorway. I mean, really? Have a word. And whereas you used to see resurfacing a lot in the old days, you don't tend to see it so much anymore. I mean, all right, maybe they do some at night and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be a priority. Now, we used to be able to boast about our roads. Great Britain had some of the best roads in the world, right? We kept them up to speed and whatever, but it seems that now, because the motorist is the #1 enemy, or that's the way it seems. I mean, tell me what you think. It seems that it doesn't really matter, and well, if it damages your car, well, you shouldn't have a car anyway. It should be on public transport. I mean, I haven't actually checked to see if there's any potholes in the bus lanes. There probably isn't, actually. They probably fix them straight away. I don't know. But what do you think? Do you think we're being ripped off? Do you think that these roads should be a downside better for the amount you're paying? Do you believe that we're probably not paying enough? Do you believe that there should be less cars on the road? Do you believe that cars today are so heavy that they're doing more damage? Do you believe that vehicles like the one I'm driving should have air suspension? By the way, they shouldn't. The reason being is you just saw the state of it in the beginning of this video, me being thrown around all over the place and I'm empty. When you're loaded, if you had airbags, you'd blow them up. They wouldn't last 10 minutes, which is a shame really, because it would be a damn sight more comfortable for me. This is a bit like being sat in an old horse and cart. Now, luckily for me, the cab itself has its own suspension on top of the body, but that's not particularly great. And even the seat has air in it to try and soften the blow, but nonetheless, you get thrown around like a ragdoll. It is part, you know what I mean? It is part of the job. It is brutal because these springs are set up to be fully loaded, so when you're not loaded, it's a bit sudden. But as I say, that's just the nature of the beast. Don't like it, get a job somewhere else. I've come to terms with it. But yeah, tell me what you think. Now, there are going to be some of you that say I don't pay road tax and I never get done. Good luck. I'm not willing to lose my car or my motorbike or whatever. And that's just the way it is. I don't actually know that if your vehicle was untaxed how that would affect your insurance anyway, but it's not a risk I want to take. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I am now going to go into another quarry where it's not going to be a great deal different to this. This is a dual carriageway I'm on, and you see me bobbing around. It's yeah. Welcome to Great Britain. We are heading backwards. Maybe we're getting these roads set up ready for the demographic that's coming over here. Because I mean, whereas this was quite a pretty country, we had good roads. Generally, we were a white indigenous population that didn't go around stabbing each other or claiming benefits all the time, or living in a 5-star hotel, or getting a bit rapey. Since the new demographic that's coming over to replace us, I mean coming over for a holiday. Sorry, I meant doctors and architects, etc. Maybe we're just trying to make them feel at home so they don't get homesick, so we'll turn the place into a shithole so they can feel fully at home. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm missing out. Who knows? Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit.